Good morning. I am getting ready, so I thought I would turn on the camera. So let's get into it, shall we? Dude, I'm looking really rough right now. My under eyes are looking extra dark. They've been extra dark for a little bit now. I don't normally suffer from darkness under my eyes. It could be a lash serum that I'm using right now, which is working really well. I'm testing it out so I could do a review later on. I'm not really sure. I think I read something about that a while back, but I can't remember right now off the top of my head, so I can't really blame it on that. I'm just suspicious. I mean, it's working on my lashes, that lash serum for sure. So let's get ready. I don't think we're gonna be doing very much today. We're just gonna stay home. My dad's coming over later today for maybe dinner or lunch or something like that, because he's leaving to Nicaragua this Monday, actually, on the 19th. My mom's already there. She's been there. She went for like 2 months, so she's not coming back till I think the second week in January or something, which is so nice. So she keeps, you know, reminding us of all the good food that she's having there. Last time that she went, she ate so much she got sick because she was just eating everything, which is really funny. Like, that's what you get for shoving that in our face. But you know, if I was there, I'd be eating everything too, like buñuelitos de yuca, plátanos. I mean, plátanos we can have here all the time. Pico, if you're from Nicaragua, you know the freaking food is so amazing. Oh, indio viejo, arroz relleno, all of that really good stuff. Mondongo, oh, so good. The primer that I use is the number 7 Beautifully Matte. I'm gonna try to use some of the stuff that I have in my year-long project, and then I have my, what is this called, the Face and Body from MAC. And I'm picking it up with a dense brush here just to maximize coverage, because Lord knows I need it. I have a lot of scarring going on right now. This is a Sigma Angled Kabuki in F84. I really like this brush a lot. I had to clean it right now with my Cinema Secrets a brush cleanser. It's not my preferred way to clean this brush because it's so dense and it absorbs a lot. I have to pour this twice in order to clean it completely. So I don't really like doing that, but I've been really lazy in cleaning my brushes lately, so I've been using this little guy quite a bit. I should have picked up the large bottle, which is what I normally do. I don't normally tend to use the Cinema Secrets for my personal brushes. I tend to leave that for brushes that are in my kit. I do find that if I want a lot of coverage from this foundation, I have to pour out quite a bit of it and I have to apply a couple layers, but it's very lightweight, very skin-like, and it's just really, really good. But I do get very oily with this foundation. For me right now, it works very well in the winter. In the summer, I would not. It's just too much. I get way too greasy for this to work on me. So I'm gonna pour out just a little bit more. And the concealer that I'm gonna use today is not part of my project. I don't know. I'm gonna get rid of that Maybelline concealer. It's really good coverage. I just don't enjoy it as much, you know. It's on the medium side, so it is way too light for my liking, or for the kind of highlight I like to do under my eyes. And usually for the under eye highlight, for me, I like it a shade or two lighter than my skin. I don't like that very bright under eye highlight. I love this brush. I swear it's so good. I had the flat top one and that one broke down on me very, very fast, to where this one has held on very, very well. So it still looks like skin, but it evens everything out. This is great, a great foundation if you don't have a lot of skin issues, or if you don't mind some of your like discoloration, scarring and stuff like that showing through foundation, which is what I like, because I feel like it looks more like skin. No skin is completely perfect, so I like my freckles and stuff like that peeking through, even scarring, because then it looks real, like realistic to me, you know. Look at how good that looks. That nice sheen. But again, you know, I tend to get very, very oily with this foundation. The concealer that I'm going to use today is my Bareskin Bare Minerals concealer. This little guy, I adore it so much. I am finding that it's getting a little bit messy around this area here. Some of the concealer is seeping out, but I still love it. It's so good. Let's get it in here too because I've gotten pretty dark. Let's go over here. I have a little scar right here. I had like 3 or 4 in that area. Actually, I have my sponges. Let me get my sponge for this. I prefer a damp sponge for my concealer. I feel like it blends it into the skin a lot better. I do like brushes as well, but today we're gonna go for this. So it's not like a heavy or a highlight that's too intense. This is probably like a half a shade lighter than my skin, which I prefer. And I love this concealer. It's so beautiful. I almost wish I didn't have to set this because it looks like skin, but I have to set it. Let me add a little bit more concealer here. I have a scar right there, and then I have some breakouts here, but whatever, nobody's gonna see those, so it's fine. What I have been liking as far as setting powder and how I'm setting this foundation is really stacking it on. I mean, not severely, but heavier than what I normally would prefer with other foundations, only because I get oily with this, so I have to stack powder, especially in my T-zone area. So I've been using the Lancolm. This is their translucent powder. It's their mattifying powder, and it comes with a little powder puff here. So what I do is just grab it with my two little fingers, just slide it right on in, and then just tap some of that onto the lid, so I can pick it up. So I'll go, whoa, I almost dropped it, oh my gosh, like that, and then just go like this and just work it into the sponge very well, and then just do this, especially here. It's a beautiful foundation and highly recommended. I think if you are normal to dry, you would adore it. And I'll bring whatever is remaining here under my eyes, and then just pick up more and stack it right in this area. So basically in my T-zone area, right here. And I do get oily, but this helps it last a little bit longer. There's still powder on the powder puff, so I tend to set the remainder of my face with that. And then with the butt of the blender that I used for my concealer, I'll go in and just continue pressing it in. It's lightly damp, it's not wet. I don't like it to be completely wet, otherwise it looks a little bit heavier, and I don't like that. But this just adds a little bit more moisture, and it helps it set and sink into the skin a little bit better. I don't do this with every foundation. This foundation I do because it needs it. It's so good. I want to carry every single shade in my kit because it's amazing. Okay, you see that? So it mattifies it, but it still has a tiny little bit of sheen. I like this powder definitely more than the Laura Mercier. Even around the entire face, I just feel like this feels a little bit more fine than the Laura Mercier, and it doesn't look cakey on my skin. If I was to do this same thing with the Laura Mercier, I feel like it looks heavier and it dries me out more. So that would be for someone definitely that gets quite a bit more oily. If you're severely oily, I would recommend that. But I'm combination skin, so I don't need all of that, you know? And I like getting a little glossy as the day goes on. The primer that I've been using is the one from NARS. This is a little sample size, I think. So let me put that on my lid area, and I'll set it. Maybe I won't set it because I want to put a concealer on. But I'll move on to my brows and then I will come back. I'm going to apply some concealer onto my eyes. I've been digging into this little NYX Above and Beyond full coverage concealer. This is in the shade medium, and I've been using this as an eye base here and there, not all the time, just once in a while, but I want to test it out because it's maybe one of the products that I add as a into my year-long project next year. I like it because it blends into my skin. It's a little bit lighter than my skin tone, but it lightens it up enough for me to allows some of the colors to show up a little bit more vibrant on me. And the reason why I like it as a base as opposed to using it as a concealer is because this is very thick and it's very, very dense. It's not as creamy as the Laura Mercier Secret Concealer. That I would never probably use as or rely on it as a base as much, just because it's so emollient, to where this one's more dry, which is why I prefer it as a base. So what I'm gonna do, I want to do in this video is kind of pop in some pictures. Some of you guys in a previous video requested for me to share a little bit about work, the kind of work that I do, or kind of vlog, something like that. So I'll pop in some pictures that I have shared on Instagram when I have had the opportunity to take pictures at work, which is not too many, just because sometimes in some cases I'm not allowed to take pictures, but sometimes I am. And I would just feel weird putting in pictures of other people and they don't know that I'm, like, their faces, you know what I mean? And I'm putting them here in a video and stuff like that without their permission, and I just don't feel comfortable doing that. But if I can include some random pictures, I will go ahead and do that. In the last month or so, I haven't really been working because I have nobody to babysit my kids. Both my mother-in-law and my mom are out of the country for a couple of months, and I don't live nearby family to where they can drop my kids off to school and pick them up, and they're still too small to where, I mean, I can put them on the bus and stuff, but when they come home they wouldn't have anybody to watch them, and I just don't feel comfortable leaving them like that. They're not big enough for me. But I remember when we were little, we had to do that. You know, my parents had to do that. We had to walk to and from school on a major street. It was 3 little girls. It's not something that parents mean to do, but you know, you kind of have to when they're both working and, you know, trying to take care of business to feed the family and stuff. But if I can be home and, you know, be lucky enough to be home and be here for my kids, then I would rather do that. That takes priority above any job for me. I do have a job or possibly a film lined up for February, so hoping that ends up coming through. Contracts haven't been filled out yet. It's just kind of a conversation and stuff like that. But I'm new to the film industry and I work on mainly independent films, and I really like the indie films, and I'm kind of, at some point I wanted to become union, and maybe at some point I may, just because benefits, you know, it pays more, you know, if I'm allowed the opportunity, because it's a little difficult to get into union, and just to get into the industry in general, you gotta know people, and I don't know that many people. I'm not a very, you have to, what is it called? Network, and I'm terrible at networking. I'm just really bad at it. I'm very bad at posting pictures of work too on Instagram. I don't think I've posted in a while, and it's not because I don't have pictures, it's just because, or because I haven't worked, but because I just don't take pictures. You know, when I'm at work, I'm just busy working and stuff like that, and sometimes I just don't have the time to be, taking a picture for Instagram is the last thing that's on my mind at some point, you know, sometimes. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm just terrible at it. I know it's bad for business, because then I don't promote myself quite as well. All right, let me get into my eyes here. I think I'm gonna do my eyes before I do my face, or maybe let me bronze up my face a little bit so I don't look quite as flat. Gosh, this video is gonna be long because I'm talking way too much. I'm gonna use this bronzer here from Wet n Wild, and I'm just gonna pick it up with a bronzing brush or a contour brush or whatever I can get my hands on. I really need to go in and clean my brushes. They're so bad. They're all very, very dirty. So I'm just using this bronzer. This is a really good deal for this bronzer. I really like it because it has the right amount of depth, the right amount of warmth for my skin. I think this was the one that was labeled Dulce de Leche. I want to say it was, because I took it off of its little pan thing, because the yellow powder I finished, or I have like little dots on my little pan. I'm almost done with it, which I'm not a fan of that powder. I prefer the bronzer more than than the yellow powder and the little duo, but it's such an inexpensive duo to begin with. I would buy it again just for this bronzer. And I'm just bringing my bronzer up into my cheeks. I haven't really been working very much. I think that's a challenge when you have a family and you're trying to work, because a lot of the jobs that I've had, they're very last minute contact and stuff like that. Some of them are not planned out ahead. I literally get a text. If I don't reply within a couple hours, it could be offered to somebody else. And for someone who has children, a family, it just, you know, it just doesn't work very well for me. I end up missing out on opportunities because I can't. I have to find a sitter for my kids, and that sometimes takes time. So that kind of makes it a little bit of a struggle. So sometimes I do wonder if I want to just work for a counter, you know, at a Nordstrom or something like that, just because it's a little bit more reliable. It's steady work, and you get a steady paycheck. I'm just not sure. I have considered it for sure, just because film in general is just a little bit tougher, and they're longer days as well. I work a lot, you know, when I have taken on films and stuff. I'm basically never really home. So my husband and I have to balance things out as best as possible, because sometimes I'll leave at, depending on how early, but I think I've left as early as 3:30 or something in the morning, and I don't get home till possibly 10. You know, sometimes they're 12-hour days. It's not unheard of for it to be 16-hour days, 14-hour days, and that's just working. That's not driving to the locations and stuff. So it takes a lot out of me, so I don't want to be taking those kind of jobs all the time, just because it's a lot. I never see my family, and so I will take them, but you know, sporadically. Let me start with the palette here. The palette that I'm going to be using today, I've used it once, maybe twice before. One was a very simple wash of color. The second one was a little bit more. I used this shadow right here, which is so beautiful. This is the deep purple in the palette. I think that one's called Sculpt. Yep, it's called Sculpt. Oh my gosh. When I dipped into it and then put it on my eyes, I was like, whoa, this is a lot of pigment. I have to take it easy with this one. So I think I'm going to use this guy again. I may do a little spotlight. I'm not really sure. I do plan on doing a review on this little palette here. I just want to use it for a couple of weeks before my thoughts gathered on this palette. But so far I have enjoyed it. I'm going to start off with, I think, this guy right here. I think I'm going to do like purpley pink today. Oh no, not that one. This matte one right over here. It's a mauve color, and I'm just gonna start by popping it right in the crease here. What I can tell you from the shadows that I have used, which this mauve one is one of them. I think it's called Surreal. Yeah, I have had no fallout from any of the shadows that I have used so far. And I bought this palette because I don't have a cool tone palette. I thought I would take the jump here with this one. I'm just not used to using cool tone shadows all that often. I tend to stick with neutrals or warm. But I've been wanting to get into cool tone shadows because cool tone looks are really beautiful. Just from my personal aesthetic, I guess, I'm just not used to them. So the first couple of times that I used it, I wasn't loving my eye looks. It's not because I didn't think they were pretty, it's just because I'm just not used to it. But you can see that's pretty pigmented, right? I don't have my ring light on, by the way. I'm working with natural light today. Whenever I can get good lighting just from natural light, I will take advantage of that, and it just shows things off so much better. Do you see how pretty that is? That's really beautiful. I don't know where I left off, but my husband called me, so I'm gonna jump into this color right here, which is called Sculpt right here, and I'm gonna pick it up with this very small brush from Real Techniques. This came in a little trio. Gosh, my nose is so freaking itchy. Ugh. It's so annoying. It came in a little, no, it was four of these. It was a little liner brush. It was this guy right here, this little small kind of detailed brush, a little liner brush right here, and it came with a bigger brush, but I can't remember. I want to say it was something like this. And really like this one, really like this one, really like this one. This one I'm deciding still, not because I don't like the shape of it. I think it's really, like, it's very useful because it's very thin. It's kind of like a blending brush, but a lot slimmer. So something like this, for instance, but on a smaller scale. And for me, someone who has puffy hooded eyes, it works really well for me. But the last couple of times that I've used it, it was scratchy, so I washed it. I'm hoping that that softened it up a little bit. I'm gonna go into Sculpt. This shadow is very pigmented, so I'm gonna try to be a little careful here and start tapping it in this area here. I'm picking it up with this brush because it is synthetic, so it's gonna pick up a little bit less. So it's going to allow me to build it up slowly. That's why I prefer shadows that are not as heavily pigmented, because I have more control. It's still very scratchy. I feel like it's stabbing my eye. If you guys have this brush, let me know. If you guys have this little quad here, let me know, because usually I haven't had bad experiences with Real Technique brushes. I really like them a lot of the times. But this little guy, although useful and performs very well, it's uncomfortable to use. And it's kind of funny because I bought it specifically because I wanted to try this one brush, and of course the other ones were great, but this was the reason why I picked that one, that little kit up. So I'm kind of disappointed by that. If I pick it up with a 217 from MAC, it picks up a lot more, by the way. This is very pigmented. I'm gonna go back in with that mauve color, this guy right here, and just go over that area there just to blend that out. And then go in with a clean blending brush over that. I think I'm gonna do one eye at a time just to save on time for this video here. And go back in with Sculpt here and just build it up in this area here. And then blend it out again. Oh, I'm so itchy. I found that with this foundation now I'm getting a little itchy on my face, so I think it's nearing its end, or it's already at its end, just because it is making my skin itch. I think I'm gonna go in with this little brush right here with the Sculpt shade, and then just pack it on right in this area, because I do want it to be pretty deep right in here, and just carefully drag it into the crease here, just for more depth, more control. And I'm gonna grab it again and bring it down in this area and connect it here. And blend it out. One thing that I do want to maybe incorporate a little bit more into my channel is some work that's a little bit more artsy, body painting and stuff like that, just because I love body painting so much. But I just don't know how it would fit into this channel, just because that's not, you know, or incorporating it more into my Instagram. But I have to find the time for it, because it requires time. Like, I don't just slap paint on my body, you know. It takes time. Sometimes it could take an entire day depending on the piece that I'm creating. But it is something that I'm really passionate about, and because doing freelance and working in films is great, but artistically it doesn't really fulfill that aspect for me. I like a little bit more out there kind of work, the creative aspect of it. So it is something that I would like to do at some point, maybe incorporate it into my channel. I haven't decided just yet, just because I like to separate two worlds. YouTube is I don't know. I just don't know yet. I haven't decided, basically, is what I'm saying. Let's try this little guy right here. This is a satin finish shadow, and this one is called Canvas. And I'm just gonna drag it right in here, in the inner corner, and then drag it right under that smoky shadow. I like my very smoky looks a lot. Sometimes I feel like I bring them a little too far down, but I really like it. And I think I'm just gonna drag it right in this area here. I want to do creation first. This guy right here, this purpley one, all over, and then I'll do the spotlight with that pink one first. After, I mean. This is a beautiful shadow also. So great. I've used this one before also. And I'm putting that one all over my lid here. See that? And dragging it all the way on the outer part. Oh my god, I have some of that pink shadow. I put it, oh man, I cleaned the sponge on this napkin, and I put the this towel, and I put the towel on my face. You know? Alright, and I'm gonna flip it to the other side and grab this pink one here. And put that one right here. That's so beautiful. I'm gonna flip it to where I had that dark one and just try to merge the two here. And then go back in with Sculpt, which is that deeper purple shadow. Actually, no, let's do it with this smaller dense brush here so I can get a little bit more precise here. And just merge Sculpt and the shimmer shadow right in here. I think I'm going to go in with my finger here and just apply that. God, that's so gorgeous. I love that. Alrighty, let's get into liner. I'm going to use, what is this called? I keep forgetting the name of this dang liner. What is it called? Via Vinito from NARS. Do my upper and lower waterline, and then I'll come back. Alright, so I'm doing my liner on my lower waterline, but I changed it up a little bit on the other eye, so I thought I would record this part because I'm bringing down Via Vinito to my lash line here, and then going in with my little smudger friend here and just smudging that liner lower, a little bit lower. And then I'm gonna grab Sculpt, which is the deeper purple, this guy right here. It's that eggplant purple color, and set it with that. I swear I love smoky eyes way too much. So good. I'm also going to pick up this guy right here, this lighter purple, and apply it right under that. So we're going kind of low today. It may look like raccoon eyes, but I actually like that. So it is what it is. And I'm gonna pick it up also with a softer brush. Is this the brush that I used? Yeah. So that lighter purple, and apply it right under that as well. Just because it'll apply it a little bit softer than that Real Techniques brush for me. Woo! We are looking intense today for not going anywhere. That's kind of funny, but what else, you know? gonna go in with vinito right here because I'm losing it. I don't know how people, well, I guess liners work differently for everybody, but like this guy doesn't last. I should set it with a black shadow, but I don't have one on hand right now in front of me, so that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna do lashes and mascara off camera. I may just do mascara. I'm not sure if I'm in the mood for lashes. And then I'll come back and we'll finish off the rest of the face. So I have lashes on already. I'm just filling in the gaps here. Look at the front here with a liquid liner just to help it blend. At the lash end, a little bit better here. I don't know what it is about winter. I tend to pack on my makeup a little bit heavier just because it's not as hot, you know what I mean? Like in the summer, I just can't stand it. I can't stand it. I'm gonna let the glue dry a little bit more, and then while that does what it needs to do, I'm gonna do the rest of my face. So let me go grab a blush. Hold on. For blush, I think I'm gonna use one of these. I don't know the name of this brand, gosh, but I think I want to use something soft like this. Let's try it out. I don't think I've ever used this particular blush before, but I don't want anything too heavy, so I'm just gonna pick it up with this blush brush here and just... Oh, this doesn't even have a mirror. Hello. Let's use the Bobbi Brown pink, what is this called? Pink Glow. I think I'm gonna pick it up with the same blush brush that I used earlier just because it's on the pinky side, so I don't really have anything else to use. Just a little wash of that. Right here, this area. This is me all the time. I lose everything all the dang time. I can never find anything. Here it is. Alright, just a nude liner here. Does this need to be sharpened? Possibly. Do my lips need to be? Yeah, I need to sharpen this. Is that a hair? And my eye's watering. This is the second time my eye waters with this palette. I may be this dark purple shadow. I may be sensitive to it. If I am, that's really gonna make me sad. My eyes are very sensitive to a lot of shadows, which is why I don't use the ABH palettes. I got rid of, I think I had a couple of them and I got rid of both of them because they were irritating my eyes. There's certain formulations that don't work with my eyes very well, and I find that sometimes it's the ones that are super pigmented that my eyes can't handle. There's something in them that just doesn't work very well. We may need a little bit more blush here, so let's grab a little bit more of that blush. Actually, I think I want to go with this pink one. That one right there, it looks way toned down on camera. Just a little bit of that. That's the one I should have picked up initially. Is that too much now? Gosh. And I'm gonna go in with this bronzer. It's a little bit on the cooler side, which is from Too Faced, the Chocolate Soleil. It's not quite as warm as that one from Wet n Wild. Just a little bit of this right in this area here. I really like this purple though. It looks really pretty. That little shifty shadow is beautiful. To finish off the eyes, because we are not done yet, of course, I need a little inner corner highlight and something under my brows. So let's grab a little flat shader. Let's just make sure that this is clean. And I think I'm gonna pick up this little pinky shadow right here. It's a satin. And let's pop that right under this area. I think that's a satin. Is that a matte? Or a satin? Nope, it's a matte, sorry. Right in this, whoa. Too much, too much, too much. These are so nice. Right in this area here. And I think I'm gonna pick this guy up here, which is called Hue, and put that right in here. Ooh, that's pretty. That's very pretty. A little heavy. Let's try to take a little bit of that off. Let me grab a, I need to clean my dust so bad. A little Q-tip here just to tone that down a little bit. And my eyes watering in this area. I don't know why. It was fine. What mascara was I using? This Clinique one. This was given to me in a sample. I think, I don't remember what it was, but it's the Chubby Lash Dude. The one of this is very large. First off, okay? It's very large. Look at this. Second of all, it smells like paint. This is not the best mascara for my lower lash, but I can't find my Lancome Definicils. So, I don't know where the heck it went. It smells like paint. It smells really like it doesn't belong on the eye area. It's very, very strange. A little bit more blending here. Do we need a little bit more blending? Probably. Right in this area here. You guys get the drift. I think we are going to call it done. Just situating the hair here. I did straighten my hair earlier today just to tone this volume down. I haven't gone in for an official cut by a hairstylist in, it's been a minute now. And the last time that I went into a barber and it's just not good. Anyways, alright, so I was talking about this on Instagram because if you have a pixie cut, you understand what I'm talking about, the maintenance that it requires for you to go in to get your hair cut often. At some point, I think I was going in at every 5 weeks and it was just a little bit much for me to maintain time-wise. It was just, and my hairstylist that I was going to at the time lives about 40, not lives, but works 40 miles away from me. That's where her shop was. So it was a bit much. So for me, I feel very fortunate because I have my husband here. He's been cutting his hair for many years, so he maintains my undercuts, he maintains a lot of my pixie cuts. That's not his doing. I'm actually losing hair again a little bit, so it's thinning out in some areas again. He is able to maintain my undercut and just kind of blend things in, and what a little bit of trimming does for a haircut, man, because that's pretty much all he did. And then I kind of blended in with shears into the upper area here. I didn't touch this whole upper area at all. I do need to go in and kind of thin it out because it's getting a little bit too much volume. I'm debating on growing out my bangs. I'm not really sure if that's something that I want to do because at some point I had them down here, then I had them over here, but the longer they get, the harder it is for me to do some kind of tidal wave or pompadour or some kind of lift hairstyle with my hair. Right now, even, it's too long for me to lift it. It's not that it's too long, it's just I have so much of it that it creates a lot of weight, and the hair products that I currently have don't maintain the lift for me. So I think I have to go in to get it trimmed. But you can see my husband did the undercut yesterday. He blends it all out for me, which is freaking amazing that he's able to do that for me. So I think that is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Enjoyed this get ready with me and kind of random conversations and stuff like that. I know this video is going to be hella long. Sorry, but I chatted quite a bit. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.